Welcome back to Tailgate Talk. Today we have the way too early Super Bowl 2027 predictions. That was a lot to say, but we've done the deed. Of course, I'm here. Buck is here. And we hit over 1,000 subscribers, which means that we have that giveaway. Just get in the comment section, run it up. We're also going to be putting this out on our other socials, but thank you guys for subscribing. The next giveaway will be at 10,000 subscribers. That said, we have signed jerseys, Drew Brees, Terry Bradshaw, good looks across the board. And before we get into those Super Bowl predictions, let's go by the division. I said a lot. Buck, please take it over. Are we starting in the AFC East?
That is A-OK. We are starting the AFC East. First team is going to be the Buffalo Bills. I would like to say, before anybody harps us in the comments here, I only missed one game. I predicted one game wrong the entire playoff, so expect these to be horrible now. Buffalo Bills, new head coach. I think they need some new receivers as well, too. I do think that they're going to have a successful season, though.
Yeah, regular season at least. It's starting to become part of maybe the Josh Allen narrative that he's not playoff bound. We might not see that big run up to a Super Bowl. I don't want to wish that on him because I root for him, but I do think the Bills, even without knowing some of the offseason moves, I see them as the winner in the AFC East next year. And I mean, we're just speculating at this point. Even with the Patriots, I think they'll be good, but there's no chance in my mind that we're going to see the Patriots mimic the success that they just had in this season, where everything came together. They had a low strength of schedule. Of course, we don't have the schedule for next year. I just think even this division will be more competitive with the Dolphins. And I say the Jets, and I say that lightly. I think it'll be another rebuilding year for the Jets. We can get that off the table. We also have new coaching for the Dolphins. You can let me know what you guys think in the comments, of course, and also, Buck, where you're at in this division. But I still think it'll be front heavy with the Bills and the Patriots. I'd be surprised if the Dolphins made the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I'd be very surprised with the new management coming in. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like at all. I think we're both on the same page. We're not huge Tua guys either.
You can't fix it. You can't fix it. He's too expensive, Buck. You can't, what are you going to do?
That's the thing. I agree with you, though, in the sense that I do think that the Patriots are going to be competitive. I don't think they're going to do as well as they did last season. I don't at all. I think, if anything, the Seahawks just found out the way to expose them, and now the rest of the NFL has just suddenly figured it out as well, too. Do I think the Jets are going to be great? Probably not, but we'd like to see them have some fun out there. But yeah, I think the Bills win this division. I think the Patriots get second, and I think Miami and New York continue doing about absolutely nothing.
Yeah, these could be flexible as we roll through. AFC North, another division that is all over the place. I mean, Steelers, no Tomlin. I never liked the receiving core. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is technically sticking around. I just think too many questions without maybe a bunch of answers. I'd like to believe the defense will still be solid, and also traveling to Pittsburgh is difficult, but I mean, that's kind of the recap for the Steelers. I don't have big expectations.
I'm about the exact same expectations. I think the defense is sick. We have no idea with Rodgers either, so we'll see who steps on in there, and then I guess we'll go from there. Cleveland Browns, though, I'm not going to lie, dude. I think Shedeur Sanders has the league exactly where he wants him.
Okay,
Doubting,
here we go.
Doubting his athletic ability, his arm, his game awareness. Literally everything about him is so perfect for the NFL. I can see him probably, no one believed in Caleb Williams, right? I think
he's not Caleb Williams athletic. Let's not do this. Chill.
Yeah, he's better. What do you want about, man?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. They suck. I think
the Browns, I think I can see the Browns being closer to a 500 organization. They're still not making the playoffs. The big ones in this is going to be the Ravens and the Bengals. On paper, I think that you have belief in the Ravens, just having Henry, I guess, if Lamar is healthy. And then they made the coaching move. You've got a new defensive coordinator. You got to think the defense will be a little more reliable. The Bengals, I don't know what to do. You had to dramatically fix the offensive line and the defense. And the team doesn't believe if Joe Burrow doesn't play. And you saw that. The defense instantly got a little bit better. But it was just about effort and belief when he was, taking the throws. He was calling the plays. And it's the reason you don't know what's going to happen there is I don't know if Burrow will be healthy a whole year. I'm not ready to get up here on camera and say that that's something you could rely on or count on.
No, I agree with that too. I think he has to stay healthy, but I would love to see the betting odds right now of if you could bet on the Bengals to win that division. I think there's a legitimate chance. Maybe Burrow has like a weird comeback year, because if he is healthy, they definitely can win if they get a few O linemen that know how to play the sport.
I'm not getting into the contemplations and hyper I don't know where the word I was going to use. I had something that was there. The permutation. A lot of
hypotheticals. I think
hypotheticals. That's where I wanted
Yeah.
to go. I think the Ravens will end up winning that division next year, even with the coaching changes. They'll figure out a way. AFC South. I'd love to be biased if you allow me to.
Yeah,
I think the Texans crush it. I think we crush it. I think we crush it. I don't think anyone's going to be close to the Texans. We came on late. We've trying to work through a bunch of problems this year. If you remember, we had, Mixon sat out the whole year. They still won't even make an announcement really on exactly what happened. I've heard some different things through the grapevine locally. So I'll just leave that to the side. CJ was terrible in the playoffs. We don't have to talk about it, but I think the Texans clear. I don't think the Jags will be anywhere near as good. The Colts, I guess we have some questions. I almost feel like we just go like this, boom, and then pop it over to you. And the Titans are still going to be awful. Don't see them anywhere near it. That's where I'm at. I'm quick.
I hope Cam Ward does better. But, yeah, for me, Titans I think are going to suck. I think Jacksonville had way too good of a year. I think that's extremely hard to repeat. Trevor Lawrence had his one-off season. As everybody knows, I'm not too much of a fan of him. Daniel Jones got hurt way too damn late into the season that I don't think that they're really going to give themselves a chance to make the playoffs unless Phillip Rivers comes back for another year. And if CJ Stroud can figure out what team he's on in the playoffs, then they might make a run.
It's so hard because we don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. I think the Jags will actually still be a good team. I just don't see a 13-4 record on a re-up. So that maybe that's what I want to put out there. I do think this is a better Jacksonville organization, like as a group, as an actual team, than we've ever seen pretty much in my life. I can't think of a team better than Jacksonville this year and throughout. That's maybe, I don't know if that's saying a lot or saying too little, but the Jaguars have always been one of those organizations you kind of push to the side, respectfully.
They weren't a team that you like hated seeing winning though.
No,
like it was fun, dude. That they
just weren't a winning. They weren't a winning organization. You just pushed. You said, "Hey, this is not a team that you expect to see in the playoffs." There's a few teams like that actually that we can discuss. Yeah, it's not on the same tiering as the Browns or the Jets, where I'm not sure if they're going to be competitive in a lot of these years. I know the pain. I live in New York. The Jets fans here, it looks sad at those Jets bars. It's not good vibes. It's not good vibes at all. AFC West, we still have the Broncos, of course, and love him, hate him. He's kind of controversial, maybe polarizing, but Sean Payton's system works. I still think it's going to work, assuming they can keep the big dogs on defense. You can interchange so much of the offensive players or the offensive weapons.
Yeah, I think so too. We ate our words this season on Bo Nix. He looked a hell of a lot better than I think we both expected him to in the playoffs. And I honestly wish he didn't get hurt because
that should have been the final. Should have been the final.
It should have been. I don't think they would have won. Having said that, I don't think there's a chance they still would have won, but it would have been it might have even been a more boring game, to be honest. But
I think it would have been more competitive.
Way more competitive.
That was a tough Super Bowl to watch, especially coming in from a neutral perspective where you just want a good game. It wasn't that.
No, not at all. Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes will be back. I don't know when he's going to be back because he got injured pretty late in the season as well too. But it'd be interesting to see what they do to kind of build around him because we still don't know if Kelsey's gone yet. My guess is he's got to be gone, right?
I'd like to see a new running back or new running backs maybe. That's something I'd like to see at the Chiefs. There's no place, even though I don't like Kansas City, I just can't see Mahomes, assuming that he's healthy and he's playing these games, not making the playoffs back-to-back years.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm not saying he's going to win the Super Bowl, that he's going to make a deep run, but not making the playoffs seems crazy to me. I also struggle to think the Chargers aren't going to do it. As long as they get Herbert some sort of blocking, any O-line. The weapons are there. The youth is there. The defense is solid. You got what you need. I like the secondary. Again, getting into like what happens in off seasons, and we've already seen movements on the coaching end.
I was going to say, Mike McDaniels went there, and a lot of people are pretty damn stoked about it because they said he's unbelievable on offense. Just defensively, he's a horrific coach is the unfortunate part of it. Speaking of horrific, though, the Las Vegas Raiders, I want to see Fernando Mendoza do good. That's all I'm really hoping. I think him and Genti might be fun. I don't know if any other part of that team is going to be that much.
Well, it's got to be better than watching Geno Smith. Yeah,
way better. Yeah,
the Raiders should be better than last year, but I don't think they'll be good. And I'm not jumping off a ledge with that statement anyway. It's not something new. I don't think anybody expects the Raiders. When you're going through like a rebuild and you got some young talent, it is what it is in the NFL, especially with quarterbacks. quarterbacks that are a rookie QB, they usually need a full year, if not even maybe a little bit more, get through some of the kinks. The game's a little different, faster, more physical, better players, you name it, more experienced veterans. That's our take for the AFC, at least our early take. We said early take. NFC East, we're flip sides.
Before we go to NFC East, do we want to say what team we think is going to make the Super Bowl from the AFC, or do you want to say it until the very end?
I don't mind. Whatever you want to do.
I'm
feeling biased, bro.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to make it. That's my early prediction. I think Josh Allen learned that in order to win a football game, you can't throw the ball backwards at halftime and give up an extra 3 points. That was really, a lot of it came down to that. There's some questionable calls here and there, obviously, but I think he is good enough, and I want to see him win one, because I can't see this guy crying every damn year. It's my fault. It's my fault. Kind of was, but it's like, I don't know. I'd like to see him succeed. Who do you have, though?
I've got the Texans, but I mean, there's the bias here. We've knocked on the door enough. We've seen the same run up in the playoffs. It's time for us to push a little bit further onward. If Stroud wasn't so off his game, it would have been a different story. And I really feel that we're going to work out the running game a little bit better. We've kind of had to use backups and developing talent the entirety of the year, with also a little bit of a suspect O-line. I mean, we made a great late stage run. Anyway, let's move on. Those are our AFC choices. Both hot takes, I'd say. Two teams that haven't done it. So yeah, we'll leave that there. NFC East, tell me.
Dallas Cowboys are going to keep putting up 25 points a game and still find a way to be a disappointment. That is my early prediction.
I agree. I'm happy to be a hater. Yeah. They'll end up somehow 8-9 or something, whatever, 8-8.
They're a fun team to watch is the thing, though, because there's so much offense because they don't play any defense. And Dak Prescott doesn't look that bad most of the time. So they're going to somehow still be disappointing, but it is.
They'll still miss the playoffs somehow. I'm throwing it out here. Somehow those guys will miss the playoffs. I would love to hate on the Eagles. I just don't know how they won't be in the playoffs. But this was the ugliest year with the team and the talent they have. Watching them play, it was so janky. Their offense moves so stiff and robotic, and the talent, I just can't believe it. I am the first to go on record to hate on the Eagles and the Cowboys. I love doing it.
And Saquon Barkley. Do you have any words you'd like to say to anybody about Saquon Barkley after the season's over with?
They were so bad. They made superstars look terrible this year, or really average. Maybe terrible is the wrong word, but it's a rough watch. And the Eagles, again, when you're not just coming off a Super Bowl, but the talent's there. You got the right young guys, defensive. When you look at the linebackers, the secondary, the pass rush, you got it. The O-line, you have it. Running back, you got it. You have two wide receivers for 1,000+ yards. Jalen Hurts, throw the ball. It was a weird watch. And then, anyways, the Eagles will be back in the playoffs. I hope they don't make a deep run. I don't want to see them win, but they're going to do well in this division still. I'm worried for the Commanders. I don't know what you wrote down, but I'm worried.
I wrote down that I don't know if Jaden Daniels being healthy is enough.
I'm concerned. Maybe that's just what it is. We saw an amazing year from the Commanders 2 seasons ago. Obviously, the breakout for Jaden Daniels took the league by storm. I have a lot of. I don't know. I'd love to see them do well, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. And if anything, the Giants, in my eyes, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think somehow they're going to do this. John Harbaugh coming in. I mean, you got Dart, Scat, Neighbors, Robinson, Slayton. Theo Johnson. I even like Tyrone Tracy or Singletary as maybe a split snap guy. We've seen the value of having multiple running backs that can kind of interchange in different ways to change the game. I think they're going to challenge for a playoff spot. I really do.
I think, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think obviously they have a big hill to climb, but I also think
it's the coach swap. The coach swap is like he's good enough to win you those close games that they lost last year.
Yeah, and I also think too, I don't know, we all played sports growing up. When you have a team that really likes each other, they all play for each other. And Dart and Scadaboo love each other. It seems like all the guys in the team either really like Scadaboo or they think he's a fucking psycho. It's what it's.
Yeah.
That's usually
but that's also not a bad thing either.
Not
psycho
at all.
Football,
you play
that works. That works.
This guy's going to run through a wall. You know what? I might try to run through the wall too. So, yeah, I would like to see them. I think they're going to have a way better season. Like we said, Commanders, I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but I think the Eagles will end up winning that division again. And like you said, they're going to make the playoffs. I think the NFC North is probably the hardest one for me to predict. Like by a mile.
Division. I mean, these are where my hottest takes probably come in. I think the Lions are back in there like swimwear. I can't like upvote the Vikings. I actually really like the Vikings team. All year I've been on this, that they have a fantastic team and just the QB situation horrendous. JJ's an issue. And then again, we talk about it all the time. We'll see in the offseason. I don't know if there's that many saving graces. Like, it's hard to get the quarterback position right. The top end guys aren't available, and you're not going to see a trade. So you're either developing young talent or you're trying to take a vet that maybe you can slot in. That's usually how it goes. And I just don't have that much belief in JJ. Just from what we witnessed, how he's reading the game, even athletic ability. So many people talk about the speed and his athleticism, but I wouldn't put it in such an elite group that's going to bail you out. And the Vikings got to be kicking stones. I mean, to have the Darnold experiment go wrong, to go from 14-3 to no playoffs.
Yeah.
With like arguably a better team, just no QB.
And the
so
quarterback,
not a better team, but
the quarterback you dump off goes and wins the Super Bowl as well, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it makes no damn sense then at all.
I watch Justin Jefferson every week just crying over there. I felt his pain, man. Like, talent, what a waste of a season for him. From a career standpoint, he's got to keep watching the Lowe's commercial with the big chains, the double chains, sitting there being like, I can't get a target for my life. No. I don't think the Bears will be as good. I'd love for them to be just as good, if not better, but they won all those like iffy games, the toss-up games, the clutch factor games. Yeah. I don't know if that can continue.
I don't know if it can either. That's what I wrote down too, is they won so many games they shouldn't have. Even when we were talking about them playing against the Packers in the playoffs, we're like, dude, they should have already lost twice to the Packers, and there could be a real argument in that playoff game. They should have lost it as well, too. I don't think they're going to squeak out as many wins. I think I need to be hand the air. I said Caleb Williams sucked for a very long time. He's awesome. He's fun to watch. He has like that athletic ability that you're talking about, though, with like JJ McCarthy, where it's that can get him out of a lot of scenarios. That's why I don't think you can put McCarthy in that same category. But I have the same thing. I think the Lions are going to figure it out, man. This was such a weird year. This is so many games you saw them lose. You're just like, how? Like, what's going on over here? And I do not think that trend is going to continue. So I put the Lions to win the division. Yep. I think the Packers and Bears, it's going to be some weird tiebreaker or something.
Yeah, I had Lions Packers as the front end of this. I'd love to be wrong, though. I always like to see the Bears making the run. Maybe this is one of the divisions for next season where you get 3 playoff teams. The hardest part is that they all are in the same division and that you have to play each other a couple times. That's the issue. Is there going to be enough wins outside of the division to put you in that position? I kind of smoothly brings us into a division I kind of just don't like right now. The NFC South, this was one of the worst watches last year. Terrible watch. And you just watched it be gift wrapped. It was Santa Claus every week. He's popping out, and guys just wouldn't take the wins. The teams wouldn't get the wins. I was like, who's going to close this out? Towards the end, we're talking about, like, maybe the Falcons have a chance. That was insane. But I don't rate Penix, so I think the Falcons are in a weird spot, even though I love the pressure and the drafting and what they've done. But, like, you still need the QB leadership, you would think at least. But maybe they can work it out. You've still got, I like Pitts a lot. You got Drake London if he's healthy. Of course, you got, the boy Robinson out the back, the best to do it, just so maneuverable. And if anything, maybe I'm more excited about the Saints. I think the Bucs will be the Bucs, but the Saints late year, they look a different team. When Tyler Shook came over and took over, won the starting job, deservedly so. Wasn't bad to watch.
Yeah, they got rid of Rattler's dumbass. No, I agree. No, Saints did look a hell of a lot better. Like you said, Bucs, I think, are going to be the Bucs. I still love Baker Mayfield. The weird thing I thought it was super strange they let Cousins go and explore free agency. I believe that's the whole situation right now.
He's going to the Jets. I'm calling it early. Jets. Going to the Jets.
Could you see like a Kyler Murray slotting into the Falcons or no?
I just don't know if they're going to start him or not. I don't know what the Falcons are going to do.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
No clue.
Because if you're invested in Penix, he's young. Let the lefty work through it. A lot of people like Penix. I've just been openly, I don't know if I'm guarding the fence, but I just don't know if he's going to be the guy to lead you to big victories, going to the playoffs, deep playoff runs. And I'm happy to eat my words. They have other pieces in that team where Penix doesn't have to be amazing for the Falcons to have success. In my eyes, at least.
Yeah.
But especially not in that division. That division is a funky division. On paper, the Bucs should do it. But this year, I've lost some confidence because they had so many chances to do it, and it didn't happen. I flew out to Tampa to watch them lose to the Saints in a rainy game affair, and I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it because they started so hot, even with injuries. They were still able to get things done. Anyways, we can move on.
You
That's
get to 500 in that division, you got a chance to make the
Panthers
playoff.
will be similar, I think, to last year, to this year.
Yeah,
Are they going to squeak out the results? I don't have a lot of trust in them with consistency or continuity.
Yeah, I just think a lot of their receivers are sick, and I think that could get them by. More so than I think some of the other teams, but we'll see what happens. NFC West, let's just get this one out the way. Team that probably will not get it done, whether or not Kyler stays or goes, is the Cardinals, dude. They are just
it's unlucky. No matter what they do here, like you could tell me they made the best draft choices, the biggest signings, no injuries. You got to play the 49ers. You have to play the Rams. You have to play the Seahawks. If anything, I'm more optimistic on the 49ers than ever before. This year, everybody was injured.
Yeah,
basically, other than Christian. They had so many injury problems, and they ended up being 12-5. I mean, even in the playoffs, they kind of ran out of steam. It looked ugly, but they went down with George Kittle was missing. Everybody just had to sit mad games, and they figured out a way. So
that's what I wrote down. Yeah, I said if they can stay healthy, I think they're going to obviously have a crazy run because they did it with so many damn injuries this year. Rams, Stafford's coming back, so. There's a positive. Stafford looks so damn good in the playoffs, by the way, man. Like he looked really, really, really good.
We didn't respect him enough when he was playing in Detroit. That's how I always think back on all of this because it wasn't really a winning organization. And I always talk about Calvin Johnson. We'll probably make a video on this. I would probably bring the argument that Calvin Johnson should be in a conversation where you're talking greatest Detroit Lions all time. Same with like the Barry Sanders, because that's always the one that pops out for everybody. And they both ended their careers early. They couldn't deal with playing for Detroit anymore. But I don't know if we've ever seen a more talented receiver than Calvin Johnson, period. Definitely receivers with more wins and definitely the playoff runs and more success and better stats. But I'll never forget some of those screenshots where they had the double coverage and it was just the multiple cornerbacks lining up. Just not hiding this at all. It's really please insert it into the video on the back end on the edit. They went viral for a reason. I just never seen somebody so unstoppable. You just throw it anywhere near him, it didn't matter.
No. Yeah, I think this division is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I can see all three of these teams making the playoffs again. I think it's hard.
Seattle's got to be good. There's no way. Coming off they're keeping their players.
Yeah, no, that was my thing. Is I just think Seattle's so much more dominant over everybody. So I have them as my team from the NFC that's going to make the Super Bowl, and I really would not be surprised if they won it again, as long as everybody stays even remotely healthy.
I'm staying spicy here. I got the Lions all the way, and Detroit will love that. I kind of talked about the lack of success, which has kind of been historic with Detroit, and I want the switch up the whole way. There are a lot of factors that come into this. I'd like to see some offseason moves and some health, but I love that team. I love the coaching side of things. And if you remember, go back 2 seasons, the Lions were dominating that division. I also feel like when you play in these tough divisions, you're always tuned up. You never have to rise to the occasion. If anything, I've always made a case, maybe being a Texans guy, like you talk AFC South, the division sometimes it's felt like a wash. And then you get into like playing games outside of your division, or you get ready for the playoffs, and maybe you're not up to par the way that you thought you were. Maybe things aren't as perfect, and you don't get a chance to make up for not being as perfect.
Okay. No, I do agree with you. All right, so I think the final predictions are you have Texans and Lions as your Super Bowl next year, and I have the Bills and the Seahawks, and I think the Seahawks are going to win personally. That's how
go ahead.
Are you saying Lions or Texans Super Bowl champion?
I want the Texans. If that's the matchup we actually get, I think I'm trying to manifest it. I'm taking the Texans. Yeah. I'm trying to manifest it right now. You see what I'm doing. You see what I'm after. I'm up to no good. And then comment to get involved in the giveaway. Good luck to everyone. Thank you guys for subscribing.